Boom. What's going on Inside Out? Woo, yeah. Nice. This is crazy. This is so exciting for me because it has been almost a year since I've gotten to be up here and hang out with you guys. And so I'm really excited for tonight. But I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything until I introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Josh, and I'm on staff here at North Point. Yeah, there it is. There it is. I was waiting for it. I'm on staff here at North Point. I am the media director here, so I just, get to have fun with cameras all the time. I'm also a small group leader for the 7th grade boys in transit, and I co-lead that group with Austin Martinez. Is Austin here tonight? See his brother. He's not. Oh, that's sad. When you see him later, tell him I said that he's a great guy, okay? Thank you. Appreciate that. Love him to death. He's great. I'm 20 years old, and I go to the greatest university in the entire world, the University of Texas. Hook 'em. Who won the tickets? Who won the tickets? I'll go with you if you want. Oh, you got an Aggie shirt on. That's amazing. That's great. Oh, that's perfect. I'll buy them from you if you want. I'll go to the game. No? Okay. Good choice. Yes, I go to the University of Texas. I am a junior there, and I'm studying aerospace engineering, and I feel super weird telling people that. Every time I tell somebody that, I get this weird look like I'm some kind of genius or something, and that is not true at all. I am a huge nerd, like 100% a nerd, but by no means of the word am I a genius. I think the only evidence for me being a genius is that somehow I managed to convince this gorgeous girl to date me for almost 2 years now. That's Molly. She's one of our small group leaders. She's in the back, so y'all make her feel really uncomfortable really quickly. Yeah, she's going to hate me for that. Yeah, so she's amazing. She's incredible. But that's a little bit about me. That's what's going on in my life right now. I was actually born and raised in Austin, Texas. And I love this city. And the reason that I bring that up for 2 reasons. One is because this one-off message that I'm going to be giving tonight is called Be For Austin. And we'll get into that in a little bit and what that means. The other reason is that I freaking love this city. It is such a cool city. Like I said, I was born and raised here. This is a picture of me when I was a kid, baby Josh. This is the first house that I remember living in as a kid, and we lived on Lake Travis, and this is like what I did all the time, was just hung out on the dock. But I was born and raised in Austin, Texas. I'm going to school in Austin, and I would be 100% content with the rest of my life if I lived out like every single breath from here until I die in Austin, Texas. That's how much I love the city. And you might be asking yourself, like, why would you want to stay in the town that you grew up in? Like, why would you want to do that? Well, for me, Austin is just like, it fits my personality so perfectly. You have no idea. For example, Austin is like a huge epicenter of technology, and I love technology. This company, one of the biggest technology companies in the world, is about to build their second biggest campus, other than the one in Cupertino, California, like 10 minutes away from here. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but that's pretty cool. Like, it'd be cool to work there one day. I don't know. But I love technology. Another thing about Austin is that it is 100% normal for guys to have long hair. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I have really long hair. And I keep it in this bun because it would probably scare people away if I took it down. It's some people in my life want me to cut it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Cut it or no? All right, well, I guess it's staying. You guys decided for me. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, so it's totally normal in Austin. That's another reason I love Austin. One of the more underappreciated things about Austin is that there's like a lot of really good rock climbing in Austin, and I love rock climbing. Rock climbing is really cool to me. And this is not in Austin, and that's not even me. That's Alex Honnold in California. And if you haven't seen, he just came out. There's a documentary about him that won an Oscar. Like, you need to go home and watch that tonight because it is like the coolest thing in the entire world. But I love rock climbing. Austin's a great place for rock climbing. I think one of the most important things about Austin, though, is that it is called the live music capital of the world. And I absolutely love live music. And the first concert that I ever remember going to, I was 12 years old, was to see these guys right here. Yeah. I was so excited. Burn It Up. That's my favorite song. Oh my gosh, yes, I love that song. I could sing the whole thing, I promise. It's such a good song. But I love music, love Austin. Those are just a few reasons why I think Austin is the greatest city in the world, and those are just a few reasons why I would live here for the rest of my life. But I'm not the only one that loves Austin. I promise you I'm not the only one. In fact, according to U.S. News and the World Report, Austin, Texas was voted the #1 place to live in the United States in 2018. And it was also voted the #1 place to live in the United States in 2017. And in 2016, it got second place. So, I mean, Austin's a pretty big deal. Like, it's the place to be, in my opinion. And it is like a really influential city. There have been people that have said, if there is going to be a city that could possibly change the world one day, Austin, Texas is going to be that city. And Austin is called home, like Jordan said, to just over 2 million people. And when I think about a city like Austin, as cool as Austin is, and as influential as Austin is, this next statistic is heartbreaking to me. And you'll find out why. We'll talk about it why in a little bit. But in a city as influential as Austin, with the 2 million people that live here, 1.6 million people do not go to church. And you might hear that. A lot of you might hear that and be like, okay, well, what's the big deal? Why does that matter? Well, for me, from where I'm standing, this is heartbreaking. This breaks my heart because this means that there are 1.6 million people in Austin, Texas right now, within 20 minutes of us in any direction, that do not have a relationship with the God that I personally believe created the universe, the one that I personally believe loves us so much that I don't even have the vocabulary to describe it. That's how much he loves us. And so that's why this breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. When I think about maybe sitting down with these 1.6 million people and talking to them, I'm sure a lot of them, maybe even most of them would say that they've been to church at some point in their lives. Maybe even some of them called themselves Christians at some point. And if we were to ask them what caused them to leave the church, what caused them to leave Christianity, I'm sure a lot of them would talk about things that the church is against, right? Maybe for some of them, they would say that, hey, the church was against my brother or my siblings for a lifestyle that they had or a choice that they were making. They were really judgmental towards my parents for something that they were going through. And so I decided to leave the church. And I think regardless of who you are, when you hear that, I think all of us will agree that that's a problem. This is a problem when we think about the church and that 1.6 million people have valid reasons probably to walk away from it, to walk away from Christianity, and that's what breaks my heart. And this problem is what led to this place. This problem is what led to North Point. It's what led to Inside Out. Inside Out exists because the church shouldn't be known for what it's against. We should not be known for what we're against. We should be known for what we're for. We want to be known for what we're for, and we want to be for Austin. We really do. We really want to be for Austin. And if you've been coming to North Point for any length of time, you've probably heard these two statements I'm about to tell you, but there are two statements that really characterize what North Point is all about. The first one is what we call our vision. And our vision here at North Point is to create churches that unchurched people love to attend. Churches for people who have maybe had a bad church experience in their life, but they come to North Point and they love to attend. Churches for people who, maybe have been hurt by Christians, but they love to attend and they feel safe attending. And then the other statement that we use a lot around here is called our mission. And our mission is to lead people into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ. And what this means is that we want people, regardless of your background, regardless of where you came from, regardless of how you got here, that you can come here, you can hang out with us and then leave and feel like you got something helpful out of whatever was talked about, whatever we talked about. And you can leave and feel like you took one step, maybe your first step, maybe one more step towards or in a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so if I were to summarize that problem and our mission and our vision, I'd say something like this. North Point exists to redefine church for Austin, Texas. But take this with a grain of salt, because this is not like the new slogan of Inside Out. This is not like the new slogan of North Point. This is just what I want to use for the sake of tonight, for the sake of our discussion tonight. And really what I want to do is I want to talk about what I mean by this phrase or word or combination of word, redefine. Go back one. Redefine right here. So what do I mean by redefine church? Well, 2,000 years ago when Christianity first started, there was no such thing as church as we know it. Christianity did not start around a building that religiously affiliated people would meet at. Instead, Christianity was characterized by this Greek word up here, ecclesia. Where's the other one? Ecclesia. Next one, go to the next slide, and we'll come back to that one. Ecclesia, I think they got mixed up. But ecclesia, and this Greek word ecclesia means a movement of people around a political idea or belief. And for the first 300 years or so of Christianity, this is exactly what Christianity was. It was a movement. It was a movement of people. And so when we think about a movement, there was this one verb that really characterized this movement that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But at some point along the way, Christianity became legal to be a Christian, and so a lot of people, we'll get to that, I guess, but a lot of people started becoming Christians, and they started translating this word ecclesia, and they started translating it to a German word Kirch, and this German word Kirch was then translated to English, and it became church. So movement got replaced with church. I'm totally screwing you up back there. I'm so sorry about that. Movement got replaced with church, and now this is why when we think of church and we think of Christianity, this is why you think of a building, not a movement. So really, when I'm talking about redefining church, I'm not talking about redefining church to something new. We are not trying to redefine church to something new. What I'm saying is that we're trying to redefine church to what it used to be, a movement that was for something, a movement that was for people, not against them. And so how do we redefine church for a city like Austin? How do we redefine church for 1.6 million people in Austin who do not go to one? I think lucky for us, really lucky for me, this problem, this tension is not by any means a new one. When you open the Bible and you just flip through the New Testament, there is example after example of Christians trying to keep Christianity focused on this one verb that I mentioned earlier, this one verb that started this movement, this one verb that Jesus left us with when he went back to heaven. Before Jesus, the way that you had a relationship with God was by following this thing called the Jewish law. Following this thing called the Jewish law. The Jewish law was a list of 613 rules. And that's how you were okay with God. That's how you knew you were okay with God. If you followed these rules, then you were good with God. And then Jesus shows up and he's like, no, that's not how we're going to do this thing. The way that you have a relationship with God is all you have to do is place your faith and trust in me, believe in who I say that I am, and then live your life by this one verb. Have your life characterized by this one single verb. And this was tough because the people that he was talking to, they grew up with these 613 rules. And so hearing that now we're going to remove all 613 and go to this one verb, it was simpler. It was a lot simpler to go to this one verb, but this one verb made it so much more demanding. It was so much more demanding. And so it was tough. It was tough for these guys. But there was one guy that I want to talk about, and his name was Paul. He got it. He really understood what Jesus meant with this one verb. And Paul, he was writing a letter. He was writing a letter to a church in Galatia. And just for context, Galatia is in modern-day Turkey. It's like the eastern half of modern-day Turkey. So Paul, he's writing a letter to a group of Christians in Galatia. And in this letter, he hits the nail on the head. He addresses the whole redefine tension that we're talking about here. He says, the only thing that counts, and I'm going to stop here for a second and translate this for you guys. What Paul is saying is that the only thing that Christians need to worry about, the only thing that the church needs to do, the only thing that matters is faith expressing itself through love. Love, that is the verb. That is the one verb that Jesus used to redefine a relationship with God. This one verb kickstarted the movement that we called Christianity 2,000 years ago. And what Paul is saying is that when you place your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, the one thing that you need to worry about is the way that you choose to love the people around you. And then not too long after that letter was written, there was a guy named James, and James was the brother of Jesus, and he was writing a similar letter. And in James's letter, he takes it a little bit further. I think he takes it one step further. And here's what James writes. He says, just as the body is dead without breath, so also faith is dead without good works. But Josh, we were just talking about love. What is good works? Why are we talking about good works now? Well, what is a good work? What does it mean to do a good work? I'm not trying to rewrite the Bible or anything, but I think it's just as easy for us to say, just as the body is dead without breath, so also faith is dead without love. And what I think James is getting at here is that when we are followers of Christ, when we join this movement, this Jesus movement, then we proceed to go and be unloving towards people. Those things just don't fit together. It's a contradiction. It doesn't make sense. What I think James is saying is that it is extremely important to love if we are going to call ourselves Christians. And so again, to summarize all of that, to put that all in one bite-sized sentence, I'd say that redefining the church means removing the junk and moving towards love. This right here, moving towards love, this is the foundation of this place. This is what we want the foundation of Inside Out to be. When a high schooler, when one of y'all's friends who you know doesn't go to church or you know doesn't believe in God, when they think about this place, when they think about North Point, when they think about Inside Out, they should think, man, I'm not sure about the whole Jesus thing. I'm not sure about the whole God thing, but man, I love to be around those people. I love to be at that place. I love to go there because I belong. I don't believe what they believe, but man, I feel like I can belong there. And creating that kind of space for people, that is exactly what it means to be for Austin. All of Austin. And being for Austin, it's not just an inside out thing, it's an all of North Point thing. In fact, the Be For Austin initiative, what Jordan was talking about earlier, is centered around this idea of creating space for people to belong, creating space to love people better. And so in last November, last fall, we had the opportunity, North Point had the opportunity to purchase 14 acres of land right across the street from Rouse High School. And on this land is going to allow us to build a new home that will allow us to love people better, that will allow us to be for Austin better. But here's the deal. Here's kind of the main point of this, is that this building is a tool. It was never meant to be more than a tool. Being for Austin starts with you guys. It starts with the way that you and I choose to love every single day of our lives. You guys see, I don't know, you see a lot of people in your everyday lives, right? There's a lot of people that you interact with in your everyday life. I think whether you're a Christian or not, let's just imagine what a room of 200 or so high schoolers could do in a city like Austin. So let's say that on a given day, you see 20 people. There are 20 people that you interact with on a given day. What if we loved our 20 people in a different way? A different way, like beyond the smiling at people, holding doors open, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Like, what if we did more than that? What if we were the people that were willing to give up our seat at the lunch table so that somebody else didn't have to sit alone? Not to get a reaction out of people, not to look cool in front of our friends, but really genuinely because we care about someone. What if we were the ones that were always phoning friends when they were having bad days? What if we were always the one to call somebody when they were having a bad day, or send them a text message, or show up at their door, or bring them coffee, or invite them to lunch? What if we invited somebody to hang out with our friends because we knew that they wanted to? They don't normally hang out with our friends, but we were willing to invite them to hang out with our friends. I think, personally, one of the most loving things that we can do is just listen. Just stop talking and listen to what is going on in somebody else's life. I really think that is one of the most loving things one human can do for another human. And so what if we did that for our 20 people? All of our 20 people, 20 unique people in our lives. What if we did that in such a way that it was magnetic? Like, people saw it and they were like, man, I don't know like what's going on in his life or her life, but I want to be a part of it. I want to love like that. I want to be known like that. I want to be seen like that. What if it was infectious? What if it was so infectious that these 20 people decided to love their 20 people? And what if those 20 people decided to love their 20 people? Would someone mind pulling out their phone really quick and just multiplying this out for me? 200 times 20 times 20 times 20. I'll wait. 1,600,000, that's what it is. Good one. Yes. Good work. 1,600,000. What that means is that the 200 or so people in this room very much have the ability to go out and change a city like Austin. The 1.6 million people in Austin, you guys right now in your everyday lives, us, we have the ability to go out and love people in such a way that these people might be introduced for the first time, maybe reintroduced to the God that loves them so incredibly much. And I just think, like, if we could do that for Austin, what could Austin do for the rest of the world? And I really do think that that is possible. I really think you guys have the ability to do that. So if we are going to be for Austin, if Inside Out is going to be for Austin, we have to decide on how we are going to love people every single day of our lives. Guys, I'd love to pray for us, and then we'll head to small groups. Dear Heavenly Father, God, thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to live in such a unique city. We love it here, God, and we are seriously for the people that you are for. I just pray that you would give us the courage to go out and be different, be something different than what we are expected to be, God. I pray that we would do that in the ways that we choose to love people. God, we love you, and we need you. It's in your son's name that we pray. Amen.